Rise of Kingdoms has been around for nearly 5 years now, but it wouldn't have made it this long without ideas and submissions from the community. And that means you. Today, we're going to be going through some of the biggest and most highly rated ideas that have come in since the beginning of 2024. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms gameplay video from your very own Shappy Gaming. And today, we are going to be combing through some of the top 5 submissions for ideas for Rise of Kingdoms from the Rise of Kingdoms Discord that have come in since the beginning of 2024. Now, if you're excited about this, be sure to drop a like and hit that subscribe button. This took a ton of time for me to be able to go through and comb through all of these submissions, but hopefully you guys enjoy. All of the links to all of the different ideas are also going to be in the description, so if you see something you like, be sure to click on it and go check it out. So, we are going to begin today with number 5. This is the 5th most requested idea for Rise of Kingdoms, and it's actually a really interesting one because I've seen people struggle with this even in my own experiences. And that is the ability to delete unwanted characters from your old account. Old farms, spy accounts, unwanted characters. They know that you can star characters you want to play, but seeing the other ones is annoying. So what this means is if I come into my game right here, and I actually go to settings and then accounts and characters, I have all of these main characters that I typically do play on, but if you scroll down, I also have about these, these 20 other accounts that I don't think I'll ever use again. Personally, I could totally see why this would be valuable, especially if you have a lot of different accounts that you've made, like me, or I know some people probably have more accounts than I do. I could totally understand them doing this. That said, I could also understand why they wouldn't, mainly because there's a lot of risk involved with deleting accounts, because if someone gets in and they delete your account that you've spent thousands of dollars on, that could be pretty disastrous. So if they do this, they're going to have to be smart about it, but we'll have to see what happens. Okay, moving on to number 4. Coming in at number 4, we have another great idea. This one is from Nexus735, and their idea is instead of buying passports from the Alliance shop, make it so that you can buy it in the Kingdom overview with individual credits. This solves 2 problems. The first is Alliances don't need to waste their credits that they need for KVK to sell players passports. And number 2, the Kingdom can't hold players hostage in the Kingdom by not selling them passports and thus making them quit. This idea makes a lot of sense to me because I've seen this even in my own kingdoms where sometimes you don't want people migrating out. And if you don't want people migrating out, you're not going to sell them passports. And that makes it really hard, especially if people are trying to target certain migration windows and they really want to get out of a kingdom because it's toxic or something like that. This also makes it so that Alliances don't need to waste their credits, which is a really big problem that we see today, especially with like farm alliances having to go through and sell these passports because, of course, people can't buy them from main alliances. This seems like a pretty easy fix. It gets Lilith what they want to, which is that people are buying passports using individual credits. Personally, I'm kind of a fan of this. I think this is not a bad idea, and I think that it could help solve a lot of problems. This also helps solve another one that I saw also come up, which is if someone bankrupts the Alliance shop, you can no longer sell passports, which is also incredibly problematic. So what do you guys think about this one? Personally, it makes sense to me. If we were to like try and pull up the game and figure out where this might sit, I think what they were saying is if I zoom out here and I go to Kingdom Overview, I would be able to buy it when I click on the kingdom. Here, you'd be able to buy them here. Personally, not a bad idea. Let me know what you think. Moving on to number 3. This next idea is one that I have had and also think a lot of people have had that would be such a great quality of life improvement. Let me tell you a story. You log into Rise of Kingdoms and you see cataract ceremonies going on. Awesome, that means I might actually get free gold heads. Except your alliance happens to be in the European time zone and you live in the US. And you log into Rise of Kingdoms, I don't know, maybe 3 hours into the second day of the event, and you find your alliance already did the Kerouac bosses, which means that you can't actually get the rewards unless you either jump to join a new alliance and you hope that they haven't done it, or you're kind of screwed. Now, this gets even worse when we talk about other events like Silk Road. If you do Silk Road and your alliance does it and you miss it, they actually give you rewards even though you didn't participate, making it so you can't then leave and go do Silk Road in another alliance. So as soon as it's done once, if you're in that alliance, you're kind of stuck. This also is a case with Shadow Legion. There seems to be a theme here. This request is to allow us to host all alliance events multiple times to cover all time zones. This would be such an easy thing to do because they have this in effect today with some other events, like Kerouac Ceremony. If I join for Kerouac Ceremony and then I leave and join another alliance when they're doing it and I still try and attack, I get a little notification saying this governor has already gotten awards from this event. They could easily do that with any of these other events too, if you just let the event happen multiple times. This makes it so those that missed it can still get rewards and the whole alliance can come together and participate. And those that didn't miss it don't get double rewards. This should be an easy slam dunk. Let's move on to idea number 2. This next idea in submission was a really interesting one to me because I didn't even realize that this was happening. When you start in Rise of Kingdoms, you land in a kingdom that's just opening, and you get to pick one of 6 different regions in Zone 1. Now, apparently, a few months ago, Lilith actually made a change to make it so instead of 6, you only get 3 starting zones. Now, what's the problem with this? This means that all of the players that are starting in that kingdom, including jumper groups, all get crammed into that one zone or 3 zones instead of the original 6, meaning there's less room to spread out and there's more potential for early fights, which I totally understand, but at the same time, it means there's not a lot of space for alliances to grow. This also means that you get less territory, so these alliances themselves can't even grow. So, what is this submission? This submission is to actually revert the preparation season adjustment with only 3 starting zones. This will only cause higher chances of civil war and a terrible experience for newcomers to the game. So, what exactly do I mean? If I hide this, you can see I'm looking at one of the kingdoms in preparation season right now, and only 3 of these zones are open, meaning that the rest of this is probably going to open later, presumably right after KVK 1. Whereas if you look at some other ones, if we close this out and we look at another zone, it does look like they may have made this change. Oh no, they haven't there. If we go to my kingdom, for example, what you'll notice is that when I do enter in the coordinates for the home kingdom, I actually have all 6 zones open. And I presume that they will open up the other zones right after KVK 1, but I could totally see why this submission got so many votes because it is really disruptive to the early game experience and it also truncates the number of alliances that you can really have in a kingdom. What do you think about this one? Let me know in the comment section. Moving on to the top rated Rise of Kingdoms improvement in 2024. And the number 1 Rise of Kingdoms idea feature request submission is, drumroll please, to make it so that you can refund items that have been added to the Alliance shop as an R4. Because today, if an R4 decides they're going to leave or go rogue or quit the kingdom, they can actually just go in to the Alliance shop. Let me show you. They can go into the Alliance shop, and here we'll go into shop. And as an R4, you can stock as many of these items as you want. And what some R4 will do is they will stock all of the most expensive items in an attempt to drain this alliance of its alliance credits. Now, what this does is an alliance without alliance credits is essentially useless. You can't sell anything in the shop. You can't build flags. You can't drop forts. None of the things that make an alliance can really happen without these alliance credits. And that is incredibly problematic because then you need to replace either all of the land that alliance has, or you need to try and restock it with alliance credits. It's a big problem. Now, this problem is also really, really bad when we're talking about like early kingdom alliances trying to get set up, because some R4 might not know any better, and they might stock the shop fully with everything using up these alliance credits, making it so that early alliance is pretty much dead. So this request is to have it so when an item is in here in the shop, instead of having purchase, you would also have a button to either say refund, or you'd have something here to say refund, so that an R4 or titled R4 can go in and refund some of these items to try and get these alliance credits back. Personally, I'm a huge fan of this idea. I think it's a great quality of life improvement, and I think it'll help a lot of Rise of Kingdoms players. I hope that you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do be sure to hit that subscribe button right over there, bottom right-hand corner, and hit the bell so you get notified when new episodes come out. If you do like content like this, be sure to drop a like. It helps me out, and it helps make sure other people see the video. Thank you all. Shappy out.